Well, welcome to my national market report. This is at the end of May 2021. I'm Guy Simmons and I work for Fine & Country Property out of Park Lane in London, marketing luxury properties within the Oxfordshire area. We are getting used to superlatives to describe the property market right now. Even as the rest of the economy comes out of its Rip Van Winkle lockdown slumber, the housing market can rightly say, been there, done that. It's a year since the housing market came out of its first and only lockdown, and the upturn shows no sign of subsiding. The Nationwide, in fact, reported a 2.1% rise in prices in April, the biggest monthly increase for 17 years, with an annual increase shown at 7.1%. When Rishi Sunak extended the stamp duty cut in his March budget, he provided a rocket boost to the property market. The government may be scratching its head about the broader levelling up agenda, however, but the pattern of the house price recovery, weakest in London and strongest in some left behind regions, has had a strong flavour of it. A change is, however, happening. In the early stages of this pandemic, housing recovery, both demand and supply, picked up at the same time. After years in which the market was characterised by cautious buyers and reluctant sellers, buyers began to throw caution to the wind and sellers overcame some of their reluctance. Now things are changing yet again, and the headlines on the latest RICS, Royal Institution of Chartered Surveyors Residential Market Survey, says it all. Buyer demand holds strong as dwindling supply of homes pushes prices up. The detail explains it. A net balance of 44% of surveyors reported a rise in new buyer inquiries. And for the first time this year, buyer demand was up in every single region of the UK. Any doubts, it seems, were put to one side by the stamp duty extension. Supply, on the other hand, is not booming. Agents responding to the RICS survey cited some major concerns over the lack of new listings, which are not enough to meet the buyer's demand. In contrast to the positive balance for new buyer inquiries, its equivalent for the sales instructions was down 4% and down from plus 21% a month earlier. Stocks of unsold homes at agents are well down on where they were at the end of last year. Strong demand and weak supply can only mean one thing: a sharply rising pricing market. What Homes.co.uk calls a synthetic boom shows no sign of subsiding. As it put it on releasing its asking price index, which showed a rise of 1.1% last month and 8.6% over the last 12 months, pumped up by this £11.8 billion of fresh mortgage lending just in March alone, the market is on fire. Surging demand is evident everywhere except in London, with seemingly unlimited credit feeding an insatiable appetite for the little stock that is still available. Across the UK, the number of properties entering the market is currently 16% less than it was 2 years ago. And in many regions, the supply shortfalls are much more severe than this. Some think the supply shortfall caused by uncertainties earlier this year will ease, including all the major significant property companies. We expect more properties to come onto the market and the greater balance between supply and demand to return, reducing upwards pressure on pricing. However, we forecast that there's a 5% growth for the UK property market in prices over the year of 2021, with current activity levels normalising as the post-pandemic landscape materialises towards the end of this year. As you can see from this report, prices are strong and as high as they've been for some time. Therefore, now could be a very good time for you to realise the value of your asset in your property. If this is something you'd be interested in learning more about, especially if you live in Oxfordshire, please don't hesitate to contact me on the details that follow the video. Thank you very much for watching.